But now, Casino, let's shift to the NFC or to the NFL, and let's talk about the NFC. Actually, the NFC South and NFC West, because our number 4 Tuesday talking point is who wins either of these conferences, because it looks like all teams don't want to. Let's look at the standings right now. In the NFC West, the Seahawks are the number 1 seed in the NFC West right now, 7-5. Arizona Cardinals and Rams are 6-6, and 49ers are 5-7. I think we can just cross 49ers out because who knows what's going on with Purdy. They just lost their 2-star running backs. Everybody
It's
else,
over.
Debo.
And I talked about it, man. I had talked about it. I said it that McCaffrey just is done.
Mhm.
He's done. You can only come back from injury so many times looking like Superman before you finally run into the kryptonite, man, which is just father time and the injuries, human life, body. Like he's getting beat up way too much. So yeah, the Niners are done. I think we can officially cross the Niners out of it. I would be absolutely shocked if, like, beyond shocked if the Niners were able to pull off a 2-game deficit to come back and take that division.
Yeah,
So
especially when it would entail, like beating teams like the Bills. And remember, we looked at their schedule and it was just a brutal finish to this
right.
season.
And I know the Seahawks just beat the Jets, but it did not look pretty doing it. They had to come back late and Arizona uh, they had their chance. Like it's who's going to win this division, man? I don't know. I truly think that none of these teams want to.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be the Rams, but every week the Rams play, you're just like, they look okay. You're never like blown away by the Rams. Even that
I'm
game
just blown
against,
away by Puka Nakua.
yeah,
Again, which my
even that
daughter loves, by the way, saying
Puka Nakua, who
Puka
doesn't?
Nakua. She just runs
Uh,
around the house.
And
Puka
then, yeah,
Nakua.
the Seahawks, there's something up with Geno Smith. He just goes long stretches of there's games where he just can't complete a pass or he just looks lost out there. And then he like flips a switch. Even in that Jets game, they
Yeah.
did nothing for 2 quarters of it and scored all their points in the other 2 quarters, which won them the game. But again, it won them the game, what, by 4 points, and they're playing against the Jets. So it's not like that was an impressive victory. They're 3-4. All these teams 3-4 in the conference for the Seahawks, 3-5 for the Cardinals, 4-5 for the Rams. It's like they can't. All of them are 3-2 their last 5 games, so they're all kind of just right there. And it's
Yeah.
really gonna, if they all just finish with the same record, it's literally just gonna be like a weird 3-way tiebreaker. And then probably the team that gets in, everybody's gonna argue it wasn't the right team. So
Oh, 100%. I
yeah,
mean, I like I told you, my coworker's a Seahawks fan. He's like, "I don't want them to make the playoffs. They're gonna get embarrassed. Like, this is
yeah.
bad. Um, let's get a better pick." Um, and then so now moving over to the NFC South here, you have both the Falcons and the Bucks sitting at 6-6, and the Bucks are going to win it. I'll tell you that right now. The Bucks are going to win it. The Falcons have this week. The Falcons have to go into Minnesota to take down that team. Not going to happen. It just won't. And then they have the Raiders. Then they have the Giants. The Commanders will probably kick their ass, and then the Panthers. So they have 3 games they can win and 2 games that they shouldn't win. Obviously, we don't know how things are going to break down. We've seen some upsets already this year, but for the most part, they have 2 games that they should lose and 3 games that they should win. And then, oh, God damn me. Right, I had to press that. Oh, there we go. And then switching on over to the Bucks, they're pretty easy, man. They've got the Raiders, they got the Chargers, Cowboys, Bucks, and Saints. So you can see them losing on the road to the Chargers. Outside of that, every single team that they're playing is below 500. So this is the Bucks to lose. This is truly the Bucks to lose.
Yeah. And then you look at what is it? You look at whatever is happening with Kirk Cousins. Obviously, we
But
always talk about and
it
hype up Baker Mayfield.
it is important to point out though that the Bucks do have to win and a game over the Falcons because the Falcons won both of the games against the Bucks, so they do have the tiebreaker on them. So the Bucks do have to win one game over, which I think is going to happen just because Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield. I know that you're upset about him last week, barely beating the Panthers. But
They cost me I had a 16 parlay, hit everything, and I mean everything leading up to this game, and then all of a sudden, the Bucks what was it? It was like the Bucks came back with the 13 points in the 4th quarter,
all
and
they
if they wouldn't have kicked that field goal and they
when they
would
were
have
on
got that
like
touchdown in,
yeah, when they were on the 2-yard line,
yeah, I
it would
would
have
have won literally, I would have won like 1,100 bucks on a $20 bet.
yeah,
Okay,
out
so
it was rough. When I stood still when they were first and goal, I'm like, "They're gonna get a touchdown. He's gonna hit. He's gonna hit. We're
yeah.
gonna get new toys for the podcast." Like, yeah, I was thinking about me, I was thinking about
Yeah.
me, not just you.
I was gonna buy us new microphones. I was gonna go crazy. I
Huh.
literally and also when I was doing the putting the parlay
Yeah, I
together,
didn't think you would put any of this money down, like, in actual responsible financial decisions.
no.
I was like, "No, he's gonna blow it on the podcast. He's gonna blow it on me. I'm just gonna be like, whoop, whoop, whoop." I
Or I
mean,
was gonna go double or nothing next week. So, but,
just put
no,
it all
but
down, put the whole 1,100 down.
yeah. But I literally, when I was making the parlay, the one bet that changed it from like a $500 bet to an 1,100 bet was the Seahawks Jets game because it was a 1 point game. And I picked the Seahawks and I was like, Seahawks definitely win this game. It's only a point. So they would have to just win the game outright. And I was like, Seahawks definitely win this game. It doubled it. So I was like, how was that the game? Buccaneers Panthers, it didn't even like move the odds or whatever. So I just threw that in there as one of those like, oh, this is the obvious one. Like I wasn't even sweating it. And then I was sweating. Literally, I picked the Vikings, I picked the Seahawks. Those games were going down to the wire. Wasn't even paying attention to the Buccaneers game. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, I'm going to lose on because they can't beat the Panthers by 6 points. And then sure enough, I did. So I want the Buccaneers to win, but I also don't want them to win at all because of the pain they caused me this past weekend. But moving from the Bucks to the Falcons casino, I think the elephant in the room is Kirk Cousins. Since he had a 4 touchdown and a 3 touchdown performance in week 8 and 9 against the Buccaneers and the Cowboys, he has thrown 0 touchdowns and an interception against the Saints, 0 touchdowns and an interception against the Broncos, and then 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions against the Chargers. He's also in those games been sacked 7 times. So, what is going on with Kirk Cousins? Did he
Uh,
just lose his mojo?
he lost his mojo, man. He lost it. He got frozen in time. He can't go back and get it. That's an Austin Powers reference. Um, but yeah, he's done. It, it's late in the season. He's an older quarterback. Uh, he's fallen apart here. He's turning back into Kirk Cousins of old, who he's going to be the best mediocre quarterback, and he's sitting at 6-6. It's exactly where he should be, the
Yeah.
best mediocre quarterback of all time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where
Well,
he's sitting at.
also,
I saw that there's people out there saying, "Can we just have a whole team of Bijan Robinsons? Like, can we just like
yeah.
can he just play quarterback? Can we just have a whole team of him?" Which he's had an outstanding year. I'm really proud of what he's done this year. Like he's my own child. No, I've always thought he was a good player, and he's had a really good season.
Also, what a monkey's paw kind of season for the Falcons, where it's like we finally want to see Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson have the seasons they're supposed to have, and then they're like, "Granted, you get Kirk Cousins, he's playing decent, you're leading the division," and then you look at it and it's like, "Oh, it's 6-6, and Kirk Cousins is falling apart at the end of the season." Like, what a weird hodgepodge of just like good and bad. But also, this was the game the Falcons were coming off their bye week. So
Yeah.
you think you would be the most prepared,
Yeah,
and
no,
yet,
it's like you said, it's like putting granite on a mobile home, man. Like
yeah,
that
it doesn't.
that countertop's only gonna hold up so long before that granite just breaks,
Ugh.
falls through it.
And it's
Yeah,
not like the Chargers are a bad team, but again,
no.
the Chargers only put up 17 points when you've already turned the ball over 4 times. That Kirk Cousins interception in the end zone is he didn't
Dude,
even it wasn't even a
he
good
just lobbed
play.
he lobbed it to
It that's what
coverage
I'm
3,
saying.
just like, ugh.
It wasn't a good play by the Chargers defense. It was literally Kirk Cousins just throwing up on the Thanksgiving weekend, just throwing up a turkey in the middle of 4 players. One of them was his, and it just stayed in the air forever. And everyone watching it was like, "That's an interception." It was, awful.